Xi'an street food is famous across China and around the world.
Lamb paomo.
Sweet osmanthus cakes.
For steamed dumplings and 8 treasure porridge, we're #1 in the Muslim quarter. No one can beat us.
I stick to tradition. I make it the old way, so people from everywhere can taste that old traditional flavor.
I've been making rice sheet noodles for 40 years. We want to keep that old flavor alive and pass the craft on.
I grew up in this paomo shop. This bowl of paomo tastes like home.
These flavors came from this land and became part of everyday life in Xi'an, the real deal. More travelers are coming to Xi'an now. First, for its history and culture. Second, for its food, especially the snacks. People hear Muslim Quarter and think it's one street. It's actually 13 main streets, plus lots of small lanes. The whole area has nearly 1,000 food shops and stalls. It's a huge food district. You have endless choices here. Snacks, staples, and cooked dishes. You can find it all. Business is really good. 8 treasure porridge.
Sure, no problem.
Yellow chive.
Sure.
The classic flavor. Chilled porridge.
Here you go. Chilled hawthorn soup. Have this first.
They're really loaded. Nice and cold.
Your yellow chive dumplings.
Fantastic. For about 20 yuan, you get steamed dumplings and 8 treasure porridge. You eat well and leave happy. Fantastic, the real deal.
My name is Ma Zhiliang. I'm 63. I was born here in the Muslim quarter and never left. In 1992, I started selling soup-filled buns. Spring Festival 1993. The young workers all went home for the new year. That's when I switched to soup-filled steamed dumplings.
We couldn't keep up with the buns, so I talked it over with my mom and thought about switching to steamed dumplings. Buns take too long. Each one needs 16 pleats. Dumplings are much faster. Before this, I spent 3 years at my brother's car shop. In 2008, I came back and saw my parents still working so hard. My mom told me to come back and take over the shop with them, guiding me hands-on. She said, "We'll teach you while we still can."
Stop, a little sesame.
When I first came back, they put me on porridge. I could barely hold the ladle. I was only 16 or 17.
He couldn't stir it. His dad taught him as he worked and scolded him too, but he picked up the porridge pretty fast.
Business picked up. Then one day, my son came to me. with an idea. He wanted to sell chilled 8-treasure hawthorn soup. I said no. Our hot and sour egg soup and 8-treasure porridge were selling well. Keep it simple. Do less, but do it well. The more you try to add to the business, and you lose focus. He said no.
Xi'an people usually eat warm food. No one was thinking about chilled desserts, but I wanted the younger crowd. My dad was thinking about older customers, so of course we butted heads. He kept pushing back. Too much of this, not enough of that. He said Xi'an people's tastes were traditional. People grew up drinking warm porridge. Serving it chilled would feel wrong. He said it broke tradition. He was sure it would never sell. I said, no way, I don't believe that. I said, what if it does sell? He said, if that sells, I'll eat my words, no question. My dad and I argued about it for years. If I was going to do it, I had to do it right. Good ingredients only, fresh lily bulbs. Had to come from Lanzhou. They had to. The lotus seeds had to be cored. The peanuts had to be small. The melon seeds were mostly imported. I kept pushing for it. He said it cost too much. I said, good ingredients are what win people over. I drank nearly 3 bowls of sweet soup every day. I kept tasting it, adjusting it, and trying again. Then I showed him the proof in real terms, the sales numbers. That's when he gave in. Once we launched it, we could barely make enough.
I never expected business to get this good. I really didn't. For steamed dumplings and 8-treasure porridge, we're #1 in the Muslim quarter. No one can beat us.
Almost every morning, my dad goes out to choose the meat.
Some meat, please.
The butcher always saves him the best cuts.
This looks great. Really great. Remember, trim off the excess fat.
Sure.
Quality comes first. Always keep it up.
All our ingredients are fresh. We get it all right here, in the quarter. Around the Muslim quarter, you can find everything. Ingredients, spices, meat, vegetables. It is a whole neighborhood.
This area has kept a lot of Hui food traditions, but those flavors are also mixed with the food of Guangzhou and the rest of Shanxi. That blend became something new. The Hui and Han families have lived together here for generations. Their lives are tied, and so are their food cultures.
The front was busy today. We sold over 600 baskets, over 600.
Pretty good, right?
I think my success made Dad retire sooner. He's older now, so I handle it. These days, he just buys ingredients and grinds the meat. I don't let him do the heavy work.
You were against it before.
I was. Never thought they'd love it this much.
Exactly.
Keep at it. I'm very proud of my son. He's done better than I did.
Step through Yongning Gate, and you're in Chang'an. The first thing to try is Chang'an's signature dish, hulu chicken. Shaanxi's top classic dish. Business looks good.
Not bad.
Let me see the dishes. You're doing a battered hulu chicken now?
Try it first.
This one is battered.
battered and fried.
This one's unbattered.
I prefer the plain fried one.
The battered version has a better bite.
Traditionally, it's fried plain. And that's how we've done it for decades.
But tradition doesn't mean standing still, right? Why use wowo chicken for hulu chicken? Because wowo chickens were short-legged and plump. Once cooked, they could be shaped to look like a gourd. That's how the dish got its name. But wowo chicken is gone now. Try finding one today. You won't.
I've looked for wowo chicken for years. I've searched everywhere, but never found one. Some stay hopeful, others say it's extinct. I've never found one, so today I came here to look again.
This way, the farm's up there. The chickens roam up there. We fenced off dozens of moo. Up here, they run freely. We have 4 breeds. The roosters are Yao chickens. For hens, we have Lu Hua, Silky, or 5 black, and Qing Yuan chickens.
Do you have wowo chickens here?
No, we don't.
None?
A free-range chicken is about 5 gene live. Cleaned, it's just over 3 gene.
Perfect.
Yes.
That works for us.
They run around the mountain, so the meat has real muscle.
Right.
The longer you stew it, the firmer it gets, almost like beef.
For the hulu chicken, the texture should be better, firmer.
Exactly.
I once asked Zheng Jianjun why he insists on no batter hulu chicken. He said that's how his master taught him, and his master learned it the same way from the masters before him. It was passed down generation by generation, so when I suggest changing certain things, he doesn't want to. For him, that's tradition.
Xi'an is a tourist city. My restaurant is inside Yongning Gate, by Shuyuan Gate. Visitors from out of town all come through here. Since I represent Shaanxi cuisine, my goal is simple. I want people from all over to taste Shaanxi food. Chili oil and tofu need to blend. And for Xi'an locals, I want it to taste like the old days. Tried it? How's the hulu chicken?
We did. It's good. My kid likes it.
Really? Thank you. Whether it's liangpi, ro jama, or hulu chicken, I believe in tradition. Do it the old way. Show the truly authentic flavor, the authentic process, and the authentic ingredients. That's what I want to bring out.
To me, diners get the final say. If people like it, that's the only way the dish can keep living on. If they don't, then what? Some old dishes don't taste like they used to. If that chicken's gone, what are you preserving? That's where Zheng and I disagree.
Even if wowo chicken is gone, the craft can't be lost. The key is getting the technique, the seasoning, the heat, and the prep all right. Get those right, and the texture will still hold up. After going through years of frustration and trial and error, I kept learning and tweaking the batter. The ratio kept changing. It can't be thick or heavy. It has to keep the chicken intact without looking over battered. And it still has to give you that crunch. We tested it over and over to get the ratio right. Once customers walk in, I think about what they like, how they experience it, and work back from there. I'm always trying to make it better. I honestly think our hulu chicken can hold its own against any Shaanxi restaurant in Xi'an.
Xi'an people are loyal to their flavors. For rice sheet noodles, you go to Qingjin. For the old school taste, you sit on Qingjin's old street, eat those rice sheets, taste that chili oil. And it feels right. Take it downtown, not the same. Dry mixed, extra chili.
I've been making rice sheet noodles for 40 years. My father first started making rice sheet noodles. I carried it on.
Nice, looks great.
People come from all over Xi'an once they hear about us. Some customers say, I spend more on gas than the noodles cost, but they just love it. Qingzhen rice sheets are steamed fresh and served warm. Hanzhong hot rice sheets aren't that hot, and Qingzhen cold rice sheets aren't that cold. Ours are made fresh, so they're soft, smooth, and springy.
In Qingzhen, you'll find about 80 or 90 different rice sheet shops along the streets. Qingzhen was once called Qingdu Ferry Town, with a ferry crossing here. People from all over passed through. For over 1,600 years, this town has stayed lively. South of Qingzhen, near the Zhongnan Mountains, water was once abundant. So this became a rice-growing area. That's where the dish began. Around Hui, people make great vinegar and seasonings. The chili oil here is good too. Without chili oil, without that bright red color, Liangpi just lacks that aroma.
Chili oil is the soul of our rice sheets. Every shop has its own spice blend and its own ratio. First we ask, more chili or less? We dip lightly in less chili. If it goes in deep, we let the oil drain. More chili. We dip deep and lift fast. Then we add greens. It already looks good. Lift it with chopsticks, and the aroma comes up.
Better roads help this food spread. Now you can find Qingzhen rice sheets being sold all over Xi'an in shops everywhere. But many people still come back here. They want the handmade, authentic taste.
Our rice sheet cutter weighs about 13.5 gene. It works like a lever. We usually cut the sheets about 4 millimeters wide. Rice sheets soak up flavor easily. The blade itself isn't long. It's all in the press. The old way uses this big cutter. My wife and I still run the shop ourselves. We're both 65 now. We want to keep that old flavor alive, so people can still taste it.
$3702.
One lamb paomo.
Is that all?
A plate of bread.
Add a cold dish?
In Xi'an, paomo starts with tearing the bread. Kotong. Then you choose how you want it cooked. The difference is how much broth you like. Old Xi'an locals, especially around 7 or 8 a.m., want the first broth of the day. They usually order dry paomo. Why dry? Xi'an people like bold flavor. Less broth means more richness and more aroma. You leave just a sip of broth. That's the classic way.
My name is Wang Le. I was born in 1992. In 2019, after getting my master's from Tsinghua, I came home to run the paomo shop. Don't put out too much bread. It dries out fast. Make sure it stays nice and soft. The meat has to be at least 50 grams. Xi'an paomo has its own look, 2 fish on top, silver threads below. That means the meat should be arranged neatly. Like 2 fish covering the top of the bowl. Check the order tags. Don't mix up the flavors. Silver threads are the glass noodles covering the meat. That gives the whole bowl a beautiful shape. 2416. Dry paomo. We don't obsess over the exact shape. Only the soul matters. Tender meat, fragrant broth. The meat, bread, and broth should all come together. We use Sichuan beef and Ningxiatan lamb, all butchered and cooked fresh each day. Simmered 10+ hours. The broth gets rich. After grad school, I got a stable public sector job. To my family and friends, it was a good, respectable job. But in 2018, our family was hit by a sudden crisis. My dad had a stroke. It felt like the whole family was collapsing. My mom stayed by him and cared for him. So, I made up my mind to leave that job. To me, it was duty and a challenge.
It broke my heart. I really didn't want her to quit that job. Our family has been in the snack business for generations. It's hard work. She worked so hard to build a different life. After all that schooling, she still came back to sell paomo.
Hi. 2 regular bowls, cold dishes, drinks, beer, plum juice?
No dumpling skills. You only sell paomo.
Le came back to see you.
Huang Le, our brilliant girl from Tsinghua University.
That's right.
Selling paomo.
Your dad is so proud of you.
What do you think of this dish? My father's memory isn't very good now. But he never forgets 2 things. 1. I got my master's from Tsinghua. 2. My paomo sells well. Those are the 2 things he's proudest of. Beef shank.
Try it. Just taste it. That's enough. 1 bite. Good?
Good.
It's good.
It's good. Please scan here. Hi. How many bowls? Back in 2022, I first had this idea. I wanted to renovate the shop. I wanted people to walk into a space where they could still feel the most traditional paomo flavor, while also keeping it fresh and modern in design. I thought that contrast would bring in more young customers.
Young people want to try something new. I felt we should support her, but I didn't expect the renovation to cost so much. I was worried. Paomo is sold 1 bowl at a time. How long would it take to make that money back?
Stir-fried paomo. I wanted to improve the space and service, but keep prices down, so people come back.
When we gave her the shop, we had one condition. The flavor, the ingredients, and the original recipe had to stay the same. Those could not change.
I grew up in this paomo shop. This place is home. This bowl of paomo tastes like home.